Hello, everyone. We're from Interaxon, and today we'll be talking about fear. What is fear? Fear is the uneasy, distressing emotion that you feel because you believe there is danger near you. What are some things you are scared of? Here are some examples of some things I'm scared of. I'm scared of spiders and snakes. But why do I feel fear when I see these things? The parts of the brain that are involved in fear is called the amygdala. It's thought to control fear because this part of the brain shows a high level of activity when someone experiences fear. Also, since animals can experience fear, animals have an amygdala in their brains. Scientists have put these two facts together to deduce that the amygdala is very likely to be associated with fear. In experiments where the amygdala is damaged, animals have their sense of fear turned off. And more than 100 billion nerve cells are involved when we feel fear. The hippocampus and the prefrontal cortex help us to interpret fear. Not everything that's dangerous makes us feel fear. For example, if you were in a room with a tiger, you would feel very scared, but you would feel safe if you were seeing a tiger at the zoo. Why do you think that happens? The hippocampus plays a big role in making and storing memories, and the prefrontal cortex is responsible for processing information. In the example with the tiger at the zoo, you don't feel fear because your hippocampus stores a memory that you were at the zoo, and there's a glass wall between the two of you. And the prefrontal cortex helps interpret this information to show that you are safe from the tiger. So, how does the fear response work? Well, how do you think you would feel if a lion walked into the room right now? What would happen is your amygdala was set off like an alarm, activating a part of the brain called the hypothalamus. This part of the brain releases a hormone called adrenaline that affects the rest of your body and causes you to feel many different sensations. Some of these sensations involved with fear include increased heart rate, a relaxed bladder, and this might be why people feel like they have to go to the bathroom when they're scared. For some people can't think clearly for a short period of time. That's because the thinking part of the brain, the prefrontal cortex, turns off, and we use this extra energy to become more alert. Also, dilated pupils can happen, which means the inner part of your eye becomes bigger and allowing you to be more alert to movement. Some people even experience hot flashes or intense sweating and feeling really hot, which causes them to feel faint. And this is all caused by the increased levels of adrenaline in your body.
So now that you've been listening, maybe you've become aware of one of your fears, and maybe you're ready to conquer it. I've included this video because it contains a funny 5-step method to overcoming your fears. So feel free to pause our video now and watch it. And if you use these techniques, be sure to let us know if it worked for you. So often when you feel fear, you have a fear response that's known as fight or flight. And so that means when you're feeling fear, your body might react to it in two different ways. The first being you're just going to conquer your fear head on and fight it out and defend yourself. Or maybe you're just going to run away for your own safety and get as far away as the thing that's causing your fear as possible. Both are valid in different situations. For example, maybe you see a lion or a shark or something really scary. You're probably just going to run away to get yourself safe. But maybe your fears of flying or doing math, or maybe even the dark. You're probably going to face your fears just by conquering them and putting on a brave face and dealing with it, knowing that there's going to be a reward in the end, whether it be getting to the destination of your family vacation or getting a good night's sleep. So now you may be thinking, is fear a bad thing? Well, not really. Fear is what keeps us all safe, and it's completely natural. Fear is a warning sign from your body to keep you safe and avoid situations that can be dangerous to you or people around you. But sometimes fear responses can be too extreme and unnecessary and can make people be afraid of things that they don't even need to be afraid of and are completely harmless. Another type of fear that's not exactly the same is a phobia. And a phobia is extreme fear towards something that's not even dangerous at all. It can be unrealistic, long lasting fear, and About 20% of Americans actually have them. For me, my phobia is of needles and shots. But some people can have a huge variety of different phobias, and they can start at any age. As I said, there are tons of phobias, but there are some that are more common. So why don't you pause now and take a guess on which phobia you think is the most common? Okay, I'm sure some of you got it, but the most common phobia in the world today is of public speaking. So maybe you have to give a presentation to your class, or maybe perform in a choir or a dance recital in front of a bunch of people. That can be very scary for some, and maybe even you. Below, I've listed a bunch of common phobias with very long names. So I'm going to give you a chance to maybe guess how to pronounce these words. Great. I hope that was fun. So maybe you can't pronounce it, but maybe you can guess what these phobias are of. But I'll give you a hint. The first one, arachnophobia, is the fear of spiders. That's a phobia I have myself. The next one, arithmophobia, is the fear of doing math. The next one, dentophobia, is the fear of going to the dentist. And the last one, honestly, I can't even pronounce myself, but it's the fear of long words. Ironic, right? And so there are a few techniques that we know of how to get rid of a phobia. The first one is called flooding, otherwise known as exposure therapy. And that means you're just going to face your fear head on and conquer it because adrenaline and the fear response you have of from your phobia, they actually have a time limit. So the more you're exposed to them, maybe after a while this fear calms down as your time comes to an end. But this does not always work and can be not that beneficial if your fear is and your phobia is very extreme. So, another way to get rid of a phobia is called systematic desensitization or gradual exposure, where it's similar to flooding, where you face your fear, but in a more gradual approach, maybe not all at once and step by step. So, just to recap, can anyone name the main difference between flooding and systematic desensitization? I'm sure you got it right. It's that flooding is all at once extreme exposure, and systematic desensitization is more gradual, step by step. Well, that's all we have for you today. We hope you learned so much. And be sure to check out more of our videos like this one on YouTube if you search UCLA Interaxon, or you can visit our website that I've included below. Thank you guys so much.